They say elections have consequences. Well, we're about to experience a doozy.
That is because when voters elected Republicans to a majority of both chambers of Congress, they effectively put Oklahoma Senator and longtime climate change denier James Inhofe in charge of the Senate's climate policy.
This is the same James Inhofe who has called climate change, quote, the greatest hoax ever perpetrated on the American people. So let's see what science thinks of what the senator has to say.
The claim that global warming is caused by man-made emissions is simply untrue and not based on sound science.
Decades of research by international climatologists, none of them senators from fossil fuel states, say otherwise. Indeed, there is a 97% consensus among scientists that climate change has been proven and that humans play a big role. The United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change says decisively, quote, we have overwhelming evidence that it is happening and it is real.
CO2 does not actually cause catastrophic disasters. Actually, it would be good for our environment and our economy.
That one may be true, provided you're willing to overlook a few things. Global sea levels have risen by 6.7 inches in the past century. Autumn ice cover in the Arctic is 23% below average. From 1980 to 2010, there were 99 weather-related disasters in the U.S., costing at least $1 billion apiece. Stubborn droughts are punishing vast swaths of the American West, and the 20 hottest years in the last century have occurred since 1980, which is part of the famous hockey stick graph.
The hockey stick was completely and thoroughly broken once and for all in 2006. Two Canadian researchers tore apart the statistical foundation for the hockey stick.
Wrong again. Just last year, the National Science Foundation studied ice core samples from 73 locations around the world and found that the Earth is currently warmer than it's been for 70 to 80% of the last 11,300 years. In the last 5,000 years, Earth actually slowly cooled by 1.3 degrees, but it made up all the heat it lost in just the last 100 years. And then there's the religious argument.
God's still up there. And this is the arrogance of people who think that we, human beings, would be able to change what he is doing in the climate is, to me, outrageous.
It's a favorite trope of people like Inhofe to frame faith and science as binary choices. But you can believe that God created the earth and still accept the fact that we have the power to mess it up. The same God would have created rivers and tigers too. That doesn't mean we're not capable of polluting the rivers until almost nothing can live in them, or hunting the tigers nearly to extinction. Finally, Inhofe on Michael Crichton's anti-climate science novel State of Fear.
I think I've read most of his books. I enjoyed most State of Fear and made it required reading for the Environment Committee.
Just to be clear, the book was a novel, which is to say fiction, which is to say it was all made up. When it comes to Inhofe and science, that pretty much explains everything.